Welcome to Myanmar Today Review, and this is where we visit the top stories for this week from Myanmar Today. Here are the reports from our reporters from this week. Akajo will give us the details on his call-in with the reporter in Wuhan, updates to the virus outbreak, and 2 new makeshift hospitals. Pure Theory got the latest report on National Disaster Management Committee holds workshop on its 2020 master plan. David Tanner has the story on the Yangon ICT Fair 2020. Dora has the full story on China ask for solidarity and cooperation in controlling spread of coronavirus. Before we get to the reports, let's take a look at the featured local news from this week. President Wu Mien left Naypyidaw by a special military flight and arrived in He-Ho Shan State South on Thursday. He was accompanied by Union Ministers Lieutenant General Ye Aun, Dr. Aung Thu, U O-win, U Win Kine, U O-maun, Chief of Myanmar Police Force, Police Lieutenant General Aung Win U, and officials. The president said, quote, "The government is, in firm determination, building a federal union. All stakeholders should be aware of it with profound significance. Differences and mistrust will be mitigated through the attainment of democracy among all national races. Thus, we will achieve what we desire, internal peace." End quote. He added, quote, "In our major aim of building a federal democratic union, departmental personnel need to review their work and make changes in accord with the transitional process. It is also necessary that all departmental personnel and staff should perform their respective duties in a manner of justice." End quote. The president then instructed the electricity distribution should be prioritized to local areas and regions. The project should be completed in time, and finance should be handled in order. He also made an inspection tour around the Upper Kangtown hydropower project site. State Councilor and Union Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, Do Aung San Suu Kyi, received Ambassador Kent Herstedt, Special Representative of the Ministry for Foreign Affairs of Sweden, on Thursday at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Naypyidaw. During the meeting, they exchanged views on matters related to promoting bilateral relations and cooperation between Myanmar and Sweden, democratization, development, peace, and national reconciliation processes, as well as possible areas of support by Sweden in Myanmar's future endeavors in overcoming the challenges facing the country, including the issues of Rakhine State. Vice President U Henry Ventieu visited the War Memorial of Korea in Seoul on Thursday, doing his official tour in the Republic of Korea. The vice president, accompanied by Union Minister Thura Uonko, was welcomed by the officials of the memorial. After signing the visitors' book, they exchanged commemorative gifts and looked around the memorial. Then the vice president visited the office of Prime Minister Chung Se-kyung. During the meeting, they discussed promotion of bilateral relations between the two countries, economic and cultural exchange programs, employments for Myanmar migrant workers in South Korea, and more investments of Korean investors in Myanmar. That's all with the local news. This is Myanmar Today Review, broadcasting from Myanmar International Radio. On FM, make sure you catch us on 96.1 FM in Yangon, 96.5 in Mandalay, and 96.7 in Naypyidaw. You can also download MI Radio app on both iOS and Android devices for your own convenience. And I believe it's time now for our first report. As the coronavirus outbreak is accelerating, the Chinese government as well as the international community are in a bid to contain the virus with the utmost efforts. Some have recovered and many are in a critical condition. 2 makeshift hospitals in Wuhan wowed the world with its speedy construction and the treatment provided. For more updates on Wuhan and the 2 new hospitals, Akajo reached out to a reporter in Wuhan.
The World Health Organization (WHO) has recently declared the coronavirus outbreak a global health emergency. Its chief Tedros on 5th February appealed for $675 million to fund a 3-month response plan. 2 makeshift hospitals have been speedily built and 11 public venues transformed into makeshift wards. MIRadio reached out to a reporter covering the coronavirus outbreak in Wuhan to get updates on the makeshift hospitals and their capacity.
As of 8 p.m. on Wednesday, a total of 107 medical rescue teams and 10,596 medical workers from all over China have arrived at Wuhan to support the treatment of patients in the mobile hospitals. And among all the medical rescue teams, there are also some national emergency medical teams. They have very professional equipment with them. I saw the vans they've driven all the way here. Each van has its own function, an intensive care unit, a water truck, a command center, and so on and so on. And there are 8 more mobile hospitals still under construction. So hopefully these mobile hospitals will receive more patients and help them get better treatment.
The Hoshangshan Hospital was handed over to military medics on Sunday and is reported to have begun taking patients. The Leishanshan Hospital will be operational. More than 3,500 workers have been involved in their construction. Leishanshan Hospital is set to be completed and take patients soon. The hospital will be able to accommodate 1,600 patients. The other prefect hospital dedicated to treating novel coronavirus-infected patients in Wuhan, Wushanshan Hospital, was completed on February 2nd and began operations a day later. As China fights the outbreak, national leaders and heads of international organizations have voiced support for China in its battle, sending messages of encouragement to Wuhan, which is central China's Hubei province and the epicenter of the novel coronavirus outbreak.
Experts are racing against time to develop a vaccine for the new coronavirus. Preventative measures include enlisting a batch of hotels and venues to centrally treat patients with mild illness or observe people who came into close contact with patients. And since it's almost the end of the Spring Festival holiday here, China will set up quarantine areas on public transport vehicles to reduce the risk of spreading the novel coronavirus during the upcoming travel rush. So passengers who experience the sudden onset of fever or other suspected symptoms during the trip will be quarantined in such areas and transferred to a test station for further examination as soon as possible.
Lots of countries have supported China. As of Sunday, China has received supplies from countries including the UK, France, Republic of Korea, Japan, Turkey, Pakistan, Kazakhstan, Hungary, Iran, Belarus, and Indonesia.
As of Wednesday, a total of 1,153 novel coronavirus patients were discharged from the hospital. The news of recovery is good, but experts have also warned that patients who have recovered from the disease are still at risk of reinfection and the possibility of spreading the virus because some antibodies are not effective for a lifetime. And that's why these recovered people are recommended to self-quarantine for 14 days and closely follow their condition after they return home.
Chinese officials say they have stepped up efforts to control the outbreak, particularly in Hubei province, where Wuhan is located. The vast majority of the funds would go to nations that need help to protect against the virus. Some 500,000 masks and 40,000 respirators would be sent to 24 countries. This is Agajo reporting for Myanmar International Radio.
That's the report on the call-in with the reporter in Wuhan. Updates to the virus outbreak and 2 new makeshift hospitals. The review workshop, mainly organized by the National Disaster Management Committee and the Plan International Myanmar, was aimed to conduct a new master plan for disaster management in the coverage of Yangon region for 2020. It is estimated that the disaster management master plan will be initiated in coming June.
The workshop to review natural disaster management in Yangon region was held in Yangon on Thursday. The review workshop, jointly organized by the National Disaster Management Committee and the Plan International Myanmar, was aimed to implement a new master plan for disaster management in the coverage of Yangon region for 2020. Currently, there are total 12 departmental groups in Yangon region anything for disaster management under the working committee. The representatives from the 12 departmental groups of Yangon region government, including the fire services and NGOs, took part in the workshop. The participants mainly focused on the 6 topics such as disaster response arrangements, disaster preparedness arrangements, and regional level action plans. Mon-Fri, Regional Director, National Disaster Management Department, said that.
The Yangon region residents are facing natural disasters like fires, floods, storms, and sometimes earthquakes. The participants here are playing a role in preparedness, prevention, response, and recovery operations for natural disasters. We are organizing this workshop to discuss and implement the disaster management master plan based on the ground experiences. All the working committees discussed what we have prepared for systematic disaster plan, what kinds of facts should be added to our plan, and also how these committees will operate connectively while carrying out prevention, response, and recovery. It was the first time review workshop for the disaster management. We will continue more observations and discussions to enact prompt and systematic DM plan while implementing the actual operation.
The final output from the workshop is going to be added to the Disaster Management Master Plan addressed by the National Disaster Management Committee. It is estimated that the Disaster Management Master Plan will come out to coming June. U Pyephyu, Deputy Officer, Yangon Region Fire Services Department, said that.
Emergency response
We will try to discuss raising public awareness for both prevention and emergency response during disasters. We have already have emergency response team to rapid response, saving and rescue operations in almost every township and district in Yangon. We will also discuss this team will operate and collaborate with other teams and departments if disasters happen. We hope the best result because here the entire responsible departments are analyzing the natural disaster management from various angles and aiming the latest damages. The final output will be beneficial to the public.
Myanmar ranks 14 out of 191 countries as the Global Climate Risk Index in 2019. The government are using total 20 billion per year as the budget for natural disaster preparedness, prevention, response, and rescue operations.
That's the report on the National Disaster Management Committee holds workshop on its 2020 master plan. Moving on to our third report. With the motive to promote and give awareness for why and how ICT has been playing a big role in our daily life and how we should be getting used to it, the Yangon ICT Fair 2020 has been held from January 31st to February 2nd at Thammadong Hall with a wide variety of ICT-related gadgets and software. Reporter David Tanner got all the details of it.
Information and Communications Technology (ICT) is an extension term for Information Technology (IC). that stresses the role of unified communications and the integration of telecommunications and computers as well as necessary enterprise software, middleware, storage, and audiovisual systems that enable users to access, store, transmit, and manipulate information. With that said, I've interviewed Myo-Min, the chairman of Yangon Region Commuter Industry Association, for the detail for what ICT Fair is.
ICT Fair is a 3-day event which will be held until February 2nd. As the name states, as an ICT Fair, there will be products and special sales regarding ICT. Products such as hardware, softwares, communication aids, laptops, computers, phones, and other networking hardwares will be on sale with special discounts. ICT Fair is not a typical product selling exhibition with special discounts. The fair is also to promote how much ICT has been playing a big part in our life, and that is why there will be some sort of training, seminars, and help notices regarding the coronavirus and related stuff of media. We will also be helping the consumers and explaining them the consumer laws. There will also be skills competition regarding ICT and the showcases of robots from students who were the winners of the World Robot Games, and it will be such a very versatile exhibition that everyone might have a little something to experience.
What and how does ICT plays a role in our life will also be explained.
So a world without ICT means you do not have information and you don't know about the events that are occurring. Random experiments show that people are now engaging in ICT like it's a part of life. So uses of ICT are increasing day by day. We can't even think of a day without ICT. People are using ICT for various purposes, as you know. From the newspaper to the business call, it's saving our valuable time. From higher educational books to online courses, all are beneficial and very much needed source.
I have also interviewed Wu Aung-somo, chairman of Yangon Region Commuter Professional Association, for what kind of difficulties they have faces and the processes of making ICT happen.
We have been preparing for the ICT fairs since last year's August. We have to invite the ICT companies to participate in the fair. We also have to make according stops and managing certain parts of the programs to actually be authentic. But this ICT fair is special. As there has been a coronavirus breakout, we have been hesitating to even hold the fair. Turns out we can still make the fair happen in the current scenario for our country. But we have contacted the healthcare professions to give the visitors of the fair information they need to know regarding the virus and how we can protect ourselves from it.
Wu Aung-somo also told MI Radio for the importance of ICT in the business sector.
Basically, there are more importance of communication that's very important for us in business. Now I will describe the importance of ICT in business. Think about a world without ICT. Simply, business will have no information that customers want and what is trending right now. You can't know what your competitor products or services. Ultimately, you will lose a valuable time. It's very important to apply technology to grow up your business strategy. For example, demands of products can be statistically measured through ICT. You can as well keep knowledge about your competitor products and services. The more you can use it, and the more you will benefit.
Reporter David Tanner reporting from Myanmar International Radio.
That's the report on the Yangon ICT Fair 2020. in order to inform the current situations of the novel coronavirus and explain the procedures of Chinese government to control the spread of virus. The Embassy of People's Republic of China in Myanmar invited the media to Chinese ambassador residence in Yangon. Our MI reporter Dora will report the details.
Hello everyone, this is your reporter Dora reporting you from MI Radio. It has been more than a month that the first infection of novel coronavirus was diagnosed in Wuhan city of China, and the Chinese government, together with the international community, trying the best to control the spread of the virus. On 4 February, the Embassy of the People's Republic of China in Myanmar initiated the press conference at the ambassador's residence in Yangon. The purpose is to inform the Chinese government's procedures and preventive measures to control the virus and the current situation in China. The press conference was led by the Minister Counselor from Chinese Embassy to Myanmar, Ms. Li Xiaoyan, who explained about the 5 main procedures that Chinese government is currently putting into efforts.
疫情发生以来呢，中国领导人高度重视，非常关心疫情的发展和患者。
She mentioned that one of the procedures is to find the source of virus and advance the medical technologies to find the solution. For the record, the Chinese medical team found the virus named pathogen, which caused the novel coronavirus during a week of outbreak. Also recently, the researcher from Chinese Academy of Engineering successfully produced the virus species to create the vaccine strain. She also added that although they found the way to create the vaccine for the coronavirus, it will take 1.5 months to produce it and another 1.5 months to identify it. She also mentioned that another important procedure is to prevent and control over the spread of the virus. As Chinese President Mr. Xi Jinping announced to take the robust measures to control the spreading of the virus, the whole country is taking the strong control and preventive measures in many cities of China, including the epicenter of the outbreak, Wuhan city, and also the big cities like Beijing and Shanghai to completely get the control of the virus. Currently, Chinese government mandated a full quarantine on the Wuhan city starting from 23rd January and including other 31 provinces and municipalities. Ms. Li also mentioned at the press conference about the cure of the disease and the reducing of death rate. She mentioned that the curing process is now the combination of Chinese traditional medicine and Western medicine together with the 4 policies of treatment.
The virus has its epidemic of spread and infection, but we are making our best efforts to control that. And most of the diseased patients are at old age, and most of them already have the other disease in their body. That's why.
There are about 60,000 medical workers currently in Wuhan city to fight against the virus and building the 2 exclusive hospitals in a short time, which are start opening on 2nd February and 5th February respectively. For the record, till the midnight of 3rd February, there are 396 patients who are successfully cured of the coronavirus in the Hubei province of China.
正如我刚才说的，中国需要世界的团结和支持。希望在座的各位缅甸的媒体。
At the end of the press conference, Ms. Li Xiaoyan also mentioned that China also needs for solidarity and cooperation of the international communities to fight against the virus. She mentioned that Myanmar President Wu Win-myint sent a letter to Chinese President Mr. Xi Jinping by expressing how he believed that China can soon control over the virus with the advanced technologies, and Myanmar as a friendly neighbor will support China in finding ways to solve these difficulties together. According to the press release, currently there are more than 20,000 infection cases, 425 deaths, and 632 patients successfully cured of the virus. Ms. Li Xiaoyan expressed,
ဒါပေမဲ့ခုနကကျွန်မပြောတဲ့အတိုင်းပါပဲဒီကို community ပါတီခေါင်းဆောင်များရဲ့ခေါင်းဆောင်မှုအောက်မှာနောက်ပြီးတော့
With the instructions of the leaders of our Communist Party in China and the unity and cooperation of the people, we believe that we can successfully go through this problem soon.
ကျွန်မတို့အောင်မြင်စွာကျော်လွှားနိုင်မယ်လို့ကျွန်မတို့ယုံကြည်စိတ်ရှိပါတယ်
Okay, so that's all about the report now. This is your reporter Daughter reporting you from MI Radio, and see you again.
That's the report on how China asked for solidarity and cooperation in controlling spread of coronavirus. As a special feature, one of our reporters reached out to a reporter from Wuhan about the updates on the 2019 novel coronavirus. Let's take a look.
The novel coronavirus has killed 722 people and infected 34,546 in mainland China, the National Health Commission's latest figures show. The World Health Organization, WHO, has recently declared the coronavirus outbreak a global health emergency. 2 makeshift hospitals have been speedily built and 11 public venues transformed into makeshift wards. Recovery of some patients has been reported. MI Radio reached out to a reporter covering the virus outbreak news in Wuhan for more updates.
According to a press conference held on Friday, more than 11,000 medics from different provinces across China have been sent to Wuhan, the epicenter of the novel coronavirus outbreak. And among them, over 3,000 doctors and nurses are intensive care specialists. And China's top experts in intensive care also gathered in Wuhan to host consultations and conduct ward rounds. In addition, a one-on-one support system was established in 16 provinces, so each of the provinces helps one city in Hubei province to battle the epidemic.
As of Wednesday, a total of 107 medical rescue teams, over 10,000 medical workers from all over China have arrived at Wuhan to support the treatment of patients in the mobile hospitals. Among all the medical rescue teams, there are also some national emergency medical teams with professional equipment. Each van has its own function and facility, including intensive care unit and water truck, command center, and so on. Also, there are 8 more mobile hospitals under construction. As of Wednesday, 1,153 novel coronavirus patients were discharged from the hospital. The news of recovery is good, but experts have also warned that patients who have recovered from the disease are still at risk of infection and the possibility of spreading the virus. It is learned that recovered people are advised to be self-quarantined for 14 days and closely monitor the condition after they returned home.
Experts are racing against time to develop a vaccine for the new coronavirus. Preventative measures include enlisting a batch of hotels and venues to centrally treat patients with mild illness or observe people who came into close contact with patients. And since it's almost the end of the Spring Festival holiday here, China will set up quarantine areas on public transport vehicles to reduce the risk of spreading the novel coronavirus during the upcoming travel rush.
Lots of countries have supported China. As of Sunday, China has received supplies from countries including the UK, France, Republic of Korea, Japan, Turkey, Pakistan, and Indonesia. Chinese officials say they have beefed up efforts to control the outbreak, particularly in Hubei province, where Wuhan is located. China is introducing more restrictive measures to try to control the outbreak. Beijing has banned group dining for events such as birthdays and weddings, while cities such as Hangzhou and Nanchang are limiting how many family members can leave home each day. Hubei province has switched off lifts in high-rise buildings to discourage residents from going outside.
While the city of Wuhan started to convert existing venues into mobile cabin hospitals on Monday night, and within 3 days, they have been completed and started to receive patients. So hopefully, these mobile hospitals will receive more patients and help them get better treatment.
Reports on social media say that Wuhan government is to carry out door-to-door temperature checks on residents. This is Agajo reporting for Myanmar International Radio.
That's all the news and reports on Myanmar Today Review. Tune in every Saturday on MITV at 8:30 p.m. for Myanmar Today Review. Until next time.